Okay, everybody, hello and welcome. Darkside Phil here, and I would like to personally welcome you here to the introduction slash pre-stream slash whatever you'd like to call it to my very first set of simulation matches in WWE 2K15. Today we are going to be simulating some, not all, but some of the matches from today's WWE TLC Tables, Ladders, and Chairs pay-per-view 2014. For those of you who don't know, yes, that actual pay-per-view is happening later tonight. And so we're going to be, over the course of the next several hours, not only simulating a lot of those matches in WWE 2K15, but also adding in some really interesting fantasy matches. Very similarly to how I've done in the past, I have spent some time setting up a nice card for you where we will be doing fantasy-style matches and simulations, and we're going to let the computer do what it does best, for better or for worse. Over the years that I have been doing this, we've seen some of the most amazing, crazy, insane things happen, and we've also seen some of the most disappointing things ever. It really all depends on the installment that year and if it actually works or not, and what game bugs are in there, and what new kind of polished WWE and 2K games have put onto that year's installment. So thanks very much for being here, whether you are watching this live on stream on my YouTube channel DSPGaming, or whether you're watching it on demand on DSPGaming. And ideally what I would like to do here today is do around 7 to 8 matches. I do have a card of 8 matches ready to go. However, it all depends on time constraints. If some of these matches end up going really, really long due to, you know, the way that the game goes automatically, then we may have to cut 1 or 2 matches from the card. We'll have to see. Much how WWE does that on their real card, we may have to cut a few things from the card as well. So today's card of matches for the TLC pay-per-view are going to be an interesting mix. We're going to have some interesting returns. We're going to see some debuts. I'm going to be honest, I was both pleasantly surprised and a little bit disappointed with the created character selection in WWE 2K15. And what I mean by that is there were some cool characters who, you know, in previous simulations I had used, and I was able to bring them back for this today. There were some characters who I really wanted to bring back who just were not created this year, or weren't, just I couldn't find them in the search results or for whatever reason. But there was some interesting new created stuff as well that I'm going to be implementing. So I'm hoping that, you know, it'll at least account for the fact that maybe you guys are looking for something that maybe has been here for the past couple of years and they didn't show up in this year's Sims, but maybe we'll have some new stuff to replace it, okay? As usual, we're going to have some timely stuff. As you know, we are in the holiday season. Christmas is right around the corner, so keep that in mind. In addition to that, we have some interesting things going on in the realm of wrestling that may affect today's Sims. Not going to spoil, but just put that little seed in your mind while you're here, trying to wonder what I'm going to be doing with the Sims today. So, it's going to be fun. I really, really think that you guys will enjoy it. I thank you for being here and giving it a shot. And this has to be said before we get started. It is the elephant in the room per se, and it should be addressed. This is the very first time that I'm going to be doing WWE simulation matches without the co-commentary of John Rambo. And John has been the staple co-op partner, the staple co-commentary partner for gaming, gameplay, and in particular pro wrestling and WWE stuff with me ever since I got started on YouTube, talking 2009, 2010, okay? And earlier this year, I moved out of Connecticut from the East Coast all the way over to the West Coast to Washington State, and it's been a tremendously positive mood. Move is what I meant to say, but mood too, I would say, yeah. I'm out of that harsher weather environment. I'm in a place where everything is nearby to me now. My back feels tremendously better. I'm able to live with my girlfriend. There's been tons and tons of positives, but unfortunately one of the negatives and one of the things that happens with change is that, you know, you can't do all the stuff that you used to be able to do. And definitely one of the biggest detriments to myself, my life in particular, my content, my friendship, is that, you know, I'm not able to do stuff with John anymore. And not to say that we didn't have plans that we were going to be able to do so. I had many conversations with John before I moved, where we said that we were going to attempt to set stuff up where we would be able to, you know, live stream stuff while we're doing co-commentary, whether it was our pro wrestling show Smart Guys, or whether it was these simulations and other gameplay. However, you know, it didn't work out. For whatever reason, John decided that with stuff going on in his personal life, that he didn't want to, you know, participate in the content anymore, at least the gameplay. And, you know, it is what it is. That's life. And, you know, there's two different schools of thought. And I hope that you'll take a moment here to bear with me and think about it. There's two things that can be done in life when a change happens like this. You can either completely dwell on the past, right? And you can be very upset, and you can refuse to accept change and just say, well, it's not fair. Things were one way, and I liked the way they were. Why do they have to change? And you can stomp your feet, and you can, you know, rabble, and be all upset about it. Or you can push forward, and you can try to move forward positively and continue to progress. And as much as I would like to say, well, you know, I waited quite a long time, right? I absolutely waited a ton of time between when I moved to now. It's been 6 months. I moved to Washington in June, and I waited and waited and waited, and at this point, it just doesn't look like John is going to be involved in my content moving forward. And, you know, that being said, you know, I understand that there's going to be people who are going to be upset that change, you know, oh, what a change. John's not here to do the co-commentary anymore. Listen, I understand. You know, I miss him too. I miss him, and it sucks that life is what it is and that choice was made. But it's out of everyone's control, right? If we all could control it, I'm sure we would all make it so that there was some magical ability that nothing would have changed and John could teleport to my place and we could still do it the way we used to do it and there'd be no problems. But it's just not going to happen. So, you know, after a long hiatus, I decided you know, that was enough of a wait. I think it's time now that we have WWE 2K15 on the next-gen console, and we have the capability of doing this with a pay-per-view today to go ahead and do the simulations, all right? So there you have it. You know, that is the bottom line. That's what's going on, and that is why we're doing this, you know, pushing forward with John Rambo. So admittedly, you might say, wow, it's different, but I hope that you still find it good and entertaining. Regardless of the fact that things change, and, you know, John will be here in spirit. Let's put it that way. I think that we'll all be imagining what kind of commentary John would have been saying if he were here and able to do the commentary with me for these simulations. And he will be missed, and, you know, I wish him well with whatever he's doing today. I just saw someone in the stream chat say that he's working on his own, you know, special edition Blu-ray DVD commentary and stuff. Well, great. You know, good for him, and I hope that it turns out well. But, all right, so, that being said, we're about to get started with the, you know, we're about to get started with the content, the simulation matches, and it should be great. I will ask you this. If you guys like the content, if you watch the Sims, you're like, wow, those were pretty good, please spread the word. As you guys know, I'm no longer streaming on Twitch TV, so I don't get that little positive boost of attention that I used to. You know, it's not like people are sitting and saying, oh, someone's streaming WWE Sim matches, let me check that out. You know, there's no index anymore for people to check that out because I do my own thing here on YouTube. So definitely, if you enjoy it, spread the word so more people will check it out, right? And hopefully, you know, this year will be a great year of simulations for all the pay-per-views that I decide to simulate. That is important to note that I will be simulating other pay-per-views this year in WWE 2K15, but it doesn't mean I'm going to be simulating every single one. What I'll probably end up doing is the big ones like Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and the ones in between here and there I may or may not simulate. It all depends on, you know, how this goes today, first of all. I mean, this could be full of bugs and problems, who knows? And it also depends on how much time I have, right? So, we're about to get started. How is this going to work? Let me refresh everyone's memory because it's been quite some time since we did simulation matches because I want everyone to be on the same page, okay, on what exactly is going on. We're going to get started. I'm going to do a brief intro explaining, you know, that this is the beginning of the simulations, and we're going to jump right into our first match. The match will load, we'll play the match, we'll do the simulation with the commentary. Then we're going to go on a break between matches for me to set up the next match. The difference between the way I'm doing it now and the way I used to do it on Twitch is I used to take commercial breaks between the matches. I don't even need to do that anymore. Alright? I don't need to run commercials because I don't get any credit or anything for running commercials here on YouTube with the live streaming. So it'll go back to this montage of fan art that you can see here in between matches as I tweak things and set them up. I'm going to ask you guys, please be patient. Okay? Please be patient. Because there was probably going to get me issues. I almost guarantee you we're going to find some issues. Every year when I do this, we have issues the first time I do it. And it's probably going to be annoying, but we'll have to fight through it if there's something that doesn't load properly, if there's glitches, if, you know, the match settings aren't right. I've basically done it so that the commentary should be muted. It should have, you know, interference enabled. I put it on normal momentum. The entrances should play for the matches. But there's always potential that there's glitches. There's been years where we pick all these custom characters and then naked dudes just come out to the ring. Naked generic bald white dudes. And we're like, what the fuck is this? So you never know what can happen with these simulations. I'll tell you this. We're going to be doing this for at least 3 hours. It could end up going longer. Alright? It depends. Like I said, we've got 7 to 8 matches lined up here for you guys. If time allows, I want to do all of them. But they may not all happen. It depends on if some of these run super long. We'll have to see. Okay? Alright, so everyone. That's it. Without further ado, we're going to end the pre-stream, the intro video here. And we're going to get started with these simulations. I thank you very much for being here. Whether you're watching again on stream or on YouTube, I appreciate it. And let's get the show on the road. Alrighty.